Hey everybody, this is Gayle. Welcome to my channel. Sorry for the delay on getting on here. If you're in my Facebook group, then you know about the error messages that I've been getting. I posted that in the group. It's facebook.com/groups/Gayle, Gayle blog. So come join us if you haven't already. By the way, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that so you can be a part of our hashtag Bodacious community. And today on the live stream, we're going to be talking about free places to camp in your van or RV. Free or cheap. We'll talk about cheap. Makes it so much more affordable. And the reason this live stream came about is because I was talking to someone just yesterday, and she was flabbergasted when I told her that on the last trip I took to Alaska with my husband, we spent $97 total on lodging. Now, that was for the entire drive to Alaska from Tennessee. So she was a little surprised. And we got to talking about that. She's an RVer. She loves to travel. She's all set up. But I figure if she, as a friend of mine, didn't know how I did it, probably I need to cover it again. So since I'm out, where else? In the van, I thought we'd talk about that today. So I wrote down a list of some of my very favorite tips for free and cheap places to stay if you're in the camper or if you're in an RV. It still applies. I want to share them with you because it really cuts the cost on a road trip. So how do we travel so inexpensively when my husband and I travel? You got it. You know, if we have the van, we'll stay in the van. And we're working on refurbing an RV, which I'm totally stoked about. It's a trailer. And when we get that totally done, we will be on the road in it. So I see we've got one person watching, so welcome. Hi, Iron Fire Horse. How are you? I'm late getting started today. I kept getting error messages from YouTube. So how are things with you? I hope they're going well. Good. I'm glad. Very glad to know that you're doing good, Iron Fire Horse. So I know that the first thing that's on everybody's mind whenever we talk about staying for free or cheap in a van or RV is Walmart is the very first thing we talk about, because Walmart is known to allow people to spend parking lots. But here's the thing. More and more often, local ordinances are getting in the way. And it's because I'm just waiting for my daughter to get out of the store. Well, I'm glad you're here. So, and more often, some local ordinances are getting in the way, and people, by being just kind of junky, are leaving trash and not keeping a tidy area around their RV or van, or otherwise breaking rules, are kind of messing it up. But Walmart is still a good place to stay where it's allowed. So here's the thing. When you come across a Walmart, or when you think you're going to stop at a Walmart, pick up your phone and give them a call. Okay. Ask to speak with the manager and ask what their policy is. Now, I was traveling in Kentucky and we stopped at a Walmart, and it was not allowed that you stay. However, here's the deal. When I went in and talked to the manager, I told them, because I couldn't get them on the phone. So I drove to the Walmart, I went in, and I bought something. Try to always buy something. I mean, you're going to want some kind of snack or a drink or something. So go in wherever you're spending the night and buy from them. It's a huge deal. And it's something you're probably going to want anyway. So I went in, I talked to the manager. He saw that I was buying some things. And I'm like, look, I just need a few hours sleep. It's close to midnight. I'll be gone probably 7 a.m., 6 a.m. easy. Can I stay in your parking lot? And he's like, well, we don't allow that anymore. Not for vehicles that are going to take up more than one space. However, here's the thing. They waive that if you can fit in a single parking space. So since I was in a van, he told me, no problems. Go ahead and stay. Just take up one space, which you want to do anyway when you can. And I spent the night with no problem. But talking to him is what opened that door. I would never have known. And I pulled in, and there were signs in the parking lot about no overnight parking. So I would not have known that I could stay there had I not taken that extra, 2 minutes maybe while I was in there and physically talked to the manager. So that is huge for Walmart. Now, Cracker Barrel will also let you stay, but again, pick up the phone and call. And Iron Fire Horse is saying, yes, that's why they allow you to stay. A lot of people buy a bit when they travel. They do. I've been known to spend over $100 in Walmart on a quote free place to stay. I'm one of those folks, especially when you're traveling. There are times when I have to get the oil changed when I'm out on the road. I always go to Walmart because they're everywhere. So that's another thing, you can get done if you need to have your tires rotated or whatever. Even if you're not buying snacks and items to cook, you still sometimes go to get those oil changes. So yeah, always try to do something. Cracker Barrel, same deal. Call ahead, talk to the manager, make sure you can stay, and buy something either from their store or from the restaurant. Let's see, what else we got here? Even prescriptions. Good point. Because heaven knows you're spending a fortune on medicines. That's just the way it is these days. So yes, good point. Okay, national parks. Okay, let me tell you, national parks that have campgrounds are great places to stay, but they can be a little pricey. However, if you are on disability and you have what they call the access pass, which is a free pass you have to show that you have a disability or sign an affidavit. I went in and I took care of that with my Medicare card, showing that I was on disability. And I don't remember if I had a prescription. Anyway, with that pass, if you qualify, then you get a 50% discount on camping. Now, obviously, you don't want to do that every night, but there are some times when you need to shower and water and things like that. So if you're traveling and you're close to a national park campground, if you have that pass, it can make it more affordable. And I've been known to stay for less money than it cost us to buy 2 showers someplace else. So again, think, plan, and give them a call. Make sure they're available. If not, you can still oftentimes shower there. Yeah. And Iron Fire Horse is saying true. Absolutely. So national parks. Okay, state park campgrounds, similar to national parks. And oftentimes you will have a disability rate for state parks, and you have to show that you have a disability. If you have the pass from the national park, then you can use that to prove that you have a disability for most state park situations. Same thing with TVA. I've been known to stay for like $18 in a night on a nice TVA campground with that pass, which showed that I had a disability, and so they discounted it, which was really nice. Now, that's not free. Those are paid. But for free, Bureau of Land Management, free camping there. Also, national forests often have free areas. These may be what they call dispersed camping, which means you pack it in, you pack it out, everything. Your own personal waste, everything. But sometimes, like when we went up to the Arctic Circle, the free BLM campground there actually had gravel parking spaces and fire rings and things like that. Let's see, Iron Fire Horse says, my daughter's here now. Great topic, Gayle. I'll catch the end when I get home. Have a great day. Thank you for coming by. Thanks. And yes, do come back and check out the rest of the live stream later on. So thanks. I hope you all have a great day. So when my husband and I were at the Arctic Circle, we stayed free at BLM there. There's a nice campground, gravel and it had fire rings and picnic areas. It was just a really nice campground, totally free. Okay. But now that also means that you're on your own as far as like things like grizzlies. So do watch out for that. Okay. But totally free. Let's see. National forests have oftentimes free campsites. Here's the thing about a national forest. You may have a paid campground, but check the maps, go in, talk to a park ranger, okay? Park rangers are wonderful sources of information because there may be free campsites just a mile or half a mile down the road from the paid campground. Check and see. What is it? 2 minutes, ask the question, and it may save you some money. Ask, okay? Also, if you think you're in an hour or something, ask how much it is to use a shower, because sometimes the park rangers will say, oh, don't worry about it, and let you come back and use their shower without charge. How's that for cool? So I've had that happen. It's really pretty cool. Okay, national grasslands, same deal as the forest. Stay there, free or cheap. Just always ask, check with the rangers. And okay, also, while you're out on the road, the other place people think about is truck stops. These are fabulous places to spend the night, but you got to remember when you're in a truck stop, same thing as Walmart. If you get out of the vehicle, you got to check for traffic. People are not looking for pedestrians. The truckers are tired. They're wanting to pull in. Okay. Another thing is stay out of the truckers' areas. Truckers need those rest areas. They're a little more limited than we are because they can only be on the road a certain number of hours. So if you pull into a truck stop and those spaces are full, please don't even think about taking a space from a trucker. Go on down, find another place, find another truck stop, find a rest area, do whatever you have to do, because it may be a little bit of an inconvenience, but everybody needs truckers to have what they need. It keeps the roads safer, it keeps the products flowing, and ultimately it's just a good thing to do. So truck stops though, same thing as Walmart. Don't put your slide out. Don't, unless you have plenty space. Don't leave junk. Buy something. You know, they're there for the same reason as Walmart's. They're there to make money. Allowing us to spend the night is a courtesy. Okay. But yes, they can be fabulous places to spend the night. Something I really like about truck stops is there's usually security, which is nice for me, especially if I happen to be traveling by myself or with the mutt over here. So I like that. Other free places to stay have included, for me, places like 24-hour restaurants like Waffle House and 24-hour fast food. Again, go in, talk to the manager, let them know, hey, I just need to be here for 5 or 6 hours, get some sleep, 7 hours, however you usually sleep, and let them know. And they'll usually always work with you. I've not had anybody turn me down when I've asked. I stayed at a convenience store in Alaska one year, and big sign saying no overnight camping. And I didn't see that until I went in because it was on the door and it was kind of faded. So I went and talked to him. I'm like, hey, you know, I see that your sign says no overnight camping. And again, I was buying a pack of crackers and a drink. And I'm like, can you suggest someplace? And the guy was like, since you asked and you were nice enough to come in here and not just park, he's like, I will let you. Where would you like to be? And so I actually pulled under a light. So with blackout windows in the van, it was great. It wasn't too bright, but he could also keep an eye, which I thought was really nice. And it just, I didn't have to worry, you know. So again, I got to stay there because I asked. You know, same thing as like the Walmart when they made the exception for me. I didn't ask for the exception. I just asked if I could stay or if they had suggestions. So always, always ask and always buy something. It really does make a difference. Rest areas. Okay, some states will let you overnight at rest areas and some won't. In the great state of Tennessee, we have a 2-hour limit. I have seen other states that have had 24-hour limits at the welcome centers. So when you go, again, ask, okay? If there's staff there, they're happy to tell you. And again, I've had on numerous occasions staff members say, hey, don't worry about it. Take the time that you need. That happened at a welcome center in North Carolina. It's just courtesy. And if you give that courtesy, what I find is that that courtesy comes back to you. So I was able to stay. Yeah. What have you got? Oh, he's got a napkin. Okay, so that's the dog. Anyway, I was able to stay for free both of those times without problem, without worry, just by asking. So rest areas, Waffle Houses, fast food restaurants, Walmart, truck stops, Cracker Barrels, national parks, state parks, BLM, national grasslands, national forests, overlooks, TVA property. I was able to stay cheap there. So there you go. And overlooks, I've not had a problem at an overlook. I've never seen a sign that said yes or no as far as overnight camping, but I've stayed there several times, especially the one outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and a few in Canada and whatnot. Haven't had any problems. So Cherahela Skyway, there you go. Shenandoah National Park, no problem. That doesn't mean that that's not going to change, but for those times, I haven't had an issue. Whoops. So again, be self-contained. Don't leave your stuff out. Be kind. Be courteous always. If you're at a store, buy something. Makes a difference. Now, here's a couple of resources that I'm going to tell you about that may help you find a free or cheap place to stay in your van or camper. And that is the website for freecampsites.net. I love that website. Use it all the time when I'm out. There is a National Forest map locator, which is helpful. And you can Google Walmart no stay list. That's a help. It gives you an idea of what Walmarts will allow and won't. And again, if you're going in an area and it says no, just ask. One more place that I forgot to mention is casinos. You can park for free there. Casinocamper.com is the website that I've used. Gotten some good information there. Two other websites / subscriptions. Of course, Airbnb. We all know that. Stellar. Hi, Stellar. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on the video. We're late thanks to YouTube trouble, but we're here. So Airbnb is one that you can look, and if there is a house available, but let's say you just need an electrical outlet, contact that person because they may well let you stay there. Probably not for free, but cheap. Thank you. Thank you, Stellar. She says she's already subbed, and she is, but she gave me a thumbs up. So thank you for the thumbs up. Awesome. The two other organizations / companies are Hip Camp. Hip Camp is this network, kind of like Airbnb, except it's for hip campers. There you go. Best way I can describe it. You can stay there sometimes $10, $15 a night. It's individual. There's a great site. If anybody wants to know, outside of Socorro in Mexico, contact me for that one. I can set you up. And harvesthosts.com. I do not have a membership for harvesthosts.com yet, but I am fixing to get one, especially for the next big trip to Atlanta. And as you all know, if you heard my announcement the other day, I'm going to spend the next year doing a lot of traveling, doing some meet and greets, coming around, speaking in churches. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you on the road. So Harvest Host is what I'm looking into, and it looks phenomenal. This is a network of museums, distilleries, wineries, farms, and you pay the $79 fee, and you have access to all of these free places to stay. And they're vetted, and you're vetted, and there's a code of conduct that you agree to. And it looks phenomenal. I talked to somebody who went, they totally sold me on it. So that brings up I think it's over 1,000 places now where you can stay for free as you're traveling. So those are my ideas. When my husband and I went to Alaska, we spent $97 total on lodging. This is how we did it, utilizing these places. I know there are some folks going to be watching this. What I want you to do is leave me your best tips down below in the comments and tell me where you stay and how you travel so cheap. For me, it's all about controlling costs for places to stay and food. We'll talk about food on another live stream. So this has been free places to stay. I'm going to list these resources down below that I just named. So I want to thank you all for watching. And don't forget, like, subscribe if you haven't. See